Hello, I'm Sue of Indigosprites cross stitch on YouTube. It's all about the cross stitch now and I'm loving it. Thank you for joining me. Welcome back if you saw my first episode or any of my other craft podcasts where it was a mix of knitting, crochet and stitching. And welcome if you are new, and I hope you'll enjoy today's content. I have 4 finishes to show off today, and I have got 1, 2, 3 works in progress. I've kitted up a new one to start. There's a days gone by bit where I show off some old cross stitch, and as most of us who enjoy crafts seem to be book lovers, I will be talking a little bit about books. So without further ado, here's one of my first finishes. I showed it in progress last week and here it is. It is the craft is called prick and stitch, or it can be known as paper embroidery. It's also known as Formaline, which is actually a company that do these type of patterns on the internet. And this particular pattern was from a company called Add Some Sparkle here in the UK, and it's they do lots of patterns and they do loads of embellishments, and it's a nice company, very often on Hochanda, which we get in the UK, I believe in the Netherlands and in the USA. They're regulars on Hochanda. So this is my finish anyway. Now I didn't realise till afterwards when I held it up to the light that the card that I stitched on had a few scuff marks on, which I don't think the camera picks up anyway, so that's okay. But anyway, this is the finished Christmas tree, and I'm really pleased with it. And I stitched, I did actually go up on this section. I went up too far because, as I said in my last video, each section will give you a number range, and say this one might have been 1 to 15. So you come up at 1, which is the first hole on this section, then you count round till you get to 15 and you go down at 15. Then you come up at 16, you count round 15 again and you go down at 2, and then up at 3, round 15, down at 17. And that's how you get this lovely overlapping spirally look pattern. And you can use many threads. You can use stranded cotton or floss, whatever you may call it, and you can. And there are some fancy glitter threads. I managed to get a pack from Amazon, which I believe I showed on my last video. And anyway, as long as they're not thick and chunky threads, you can use a wide range of threads for prick and stitch. Now I chose sparkle because Christmas trees are meant to sparkle, aren't they? I didn't choose sparkle for the trunk and the pot the Christmas tree sits in. I just chose a one of these actually stranded cottons for that. And within the pack, which came with a few Christmas designs, there were the embellishments, which I glued on, a star on the top of the tree there, and the other embellishments. And then I just got a pencil. I was a little bit lazy and just drew the line to make it look as though it was hanging on the tree. It's not don't think that camera wants to focus very well. But anyway, and this space looked a bit empty up here, so I stuck a snowflake peel off, and I just bought today some alphabet peel offs, so I might just put Christmas along the bottom there. I haven't quite decided yet. So you prick the hole, I pricked the holes into this piece of card, and then I mounted it on this greetings card. That way you don't see the messy back. I talked about how you do it in my first video, and that's all ready to send as a Christmas card, which is actually the second Christmas card that I've completed. So that's that one, which I think looks quite quirky, quite cute and quirky. I like quirky. And my second finish this week, now on the last video I showed you I was working on one of my daughter's patterns, and she's done a series of contemporary takes on Alice in Wonderland. Now I showed this one in progress last time, and there are 3 more that I've worked on. I've actually kitted up the 5th, which is the rose. I can't show you because I've only got a pattern, I'm afraid. I haven't got a finished thing at the moment, because that's what I am. I'm the test stitcher for her. But once that's in progress, I should be able to show you that next time. But it's the rose in the middle with a lovely pattern around the outside and paintbrushes surrounding it as a border, where, you know, in the Alice in Wonderland film they paint the roses, don't they? Well, my daughter's interpretation of all of this is very contemporary, so and so are the colours as well. But I absolutely loved stitching this. There's only 4 colours used, including the back stitch. I think these lovely old-fashioned spoons and the lovely background and the vintage colours, I think it gives it a nice vintage feel. And the stack of teacups, it is Assisi. It is a take on Assisi cross stitch, where you leave the actual focus blank, other than in this case obviously the back stitch to outline what it is, which is 3 stacked teacups, and you actually decorate the outside. And I love it in Assisi cross stitch, and I don't think there's enough of it out there, if I'm honest. But every one of them is a Assisi cross stitch, and there's going to be 13 in the range of these patterns, which will hopefully come out later in the year. It'll probably be later than that because I can't stitch fast enough. And it is I love cross stitch where I don't have loads and loads of different colours to use. I am a fan of using as few as possible, but occasionally it does hit me that I want something a bit more meaty to get my teeth into, and I will do one with loads of colour in it. And I have got a few kits actually that I was given at Christmas time with lots of colour in them. I might get round to showing you those, maybe start next time. So that's my second finish project, and this, as I say, is Assisi cross stitch and only in 4 colours. Now, to actually finish this, I have bought a canvas, a box canvas, on its own easel. So I'm considering mounting it on the easel, so it can be a freestanding decoration, if you like, in the home. That's what I've thought of so far, but I am known to change my mind. But I'm sure I'll have the thing finished and mounted somehow by the next podcast. So yeah, and that pattern design is by my daughter Karen. And my third finish, now don't think I finished this on the first, I'm pretty sure I didn't finish this on the first podcast, is the Mouseloft kit that I was given as a stocking filler at Christmas, and I believe I showed it in progress. Looking at it now, I would like to have shoved it over that way so the holly looks like it's coming from behind, but unfortunately there wasn't enough material, so I had to mount it central like that. And I quite enjoyed doing this actually. I'm not a fan of messy backstitch, but I did it and it was okay. And The card came in the kit as well, so all sealed up there, ready. Mouseloft is a British company that specialise in miniature cross stitch. I did put the details in the first video when I showed it in progress, a link to the Mouseloft website, I believe it was, although they are available freely on places like Amazon as well. This particular design, I believe, is no longer in circulation. So it was all of the DM3C threads. I used the fabric that came with the kit and the threads and the card, and I did put a border around it or some peel-offs, but that didn't quite work, so I might add some glitter. I'm not sure yet, but I might put some added decoration there. But that is my third finish. Now my fourth finish, I bought a denim jacket from eBay. There was somebody selling it new and it was only £5. Now I have a thing about, I like to customise things and make them look a bit different maybe. And I'm also a fan of lace. I absolutely love lace and have a couple of small baskets full of all sorts of lace. So I decided to use some lace to decorate the sleeves of my new denim jacket, and here it is. The lace is actually all one piece of lace. I got it a long time ago on eBay, and I got numerous colours, and I wonder if that's all right to hold closer to camera. And originally I was just going to put it underneath the cuff, but because it is such a thick piece of lace and I actually like the entire piece, I decided to just cover the cuff completely. And I really like it, and I like the look of it when I'm wearing it as well, and I love the colour. Now I was thinking of, just get this in camera, I was thinking of putting pieces across here as well, but I held it up against it and I wasn't too sure. So what I might do is get some soluble canvas, or waste canvas as it used to be called, and I might do a little motif either side of the button on the pockets on the front of the jacket. I'm not sure yet. That's a thought in progress, put it that way. But yeah, in the meantime, that's almost true to colour that pink. It's perhaps a bit pink, more pinky. Then what I did, I just sewed along the little ridge there, catching the denim jacket as I went, and it doesn't show. The cotton reel I used was almost a perfect match as well. So yeah, I love customising clothing, and it has given me a bit more of a taste to continue trying to customise clothing as well. And so that's my fourth finish, and for a £5 jacket, and it's a new jacket, it still had the tags when I bought it. Someone was just clearing out and didn't want it anymore. And well, I was absolutely delighted. I do like a bargain. So they're my four finishes to speak of right now. Now some update on works in progress. Now I actually found the threads I'm using for the I'm a bit of a messy stitcher. I don't really tidy as I go very often. Should do really. But hey, our differences are what makes the world go round. So that's the colour I'm getting ready to use next, which is why it's just sat on there. But they are the very pretty colours for Emma Congdon's. If you saw my last video, I showed you a work in progress, which was what my daughter bought me for Christmas, and she'd kitted up the Emma Congdon pattern of "If life gives you lemons, then make a G&D." Don't know why she thought of me when she saw that, but hey ho. It's a lovely pattern. I'm delighted with it. I'll show you my progress. I actually found the picture of it as well. So this is on Emma Congdon's Etsy shop. I believe her business is called Stitchrovia. And I'm fairly certain, I will double check, that I put the details of that, the link to that in the notes of the last podcast. So that is it. When life gives you lemons, make a G&T. And I love that. It's got such lovely happy colours in it. And this is my progress. Not loads, I suppose, but I believe I did all the way around here. And the shadow, you see the sort of browny looking shadow around the lettering. I did that as well. Because the pattern is printed off on over 6 pages, so I'm trying to complete 1 page at a time. And I think, did I finish the shadowing? I'm trying to remember now. So that's that one, that one, that one, that one. Oh, I need to come round here and round here with the shadowing. So inside that loop and around here. And the shadowing, and therefore that section of this particular panel will be finished. And I'm going to move down to the bottom bit next. So there it is. That's my When Life Gives You Lemons work in progress. Just move that one. Another work in progress, I have actually pricked out another prick and stitch card. I try and make one a week so that I can keep on top of my cards for the end of the year. And this is the pattern of this pretty candle. And I don't know if will the camera pick up. I think it will pick up mostly the pricking on that. So it's ready for me to start stitching. Now it shouldn't take too long because, as you can see on the pattern, you've got the flame and the holly leaves, which are the biggest part of the pattern, but the actual candle stick is just wrapped with stitching going down, so you haven't got to fill all that in. So that's why you don't see quite so many holes pricked out on the actual candle, because you just get the ones either side and where you stitch your threads across. And I think you could probably just about pick up the holly leaves there. Yep. So looking forward to doing that. I do like doing prick and stitch. It's very therapeutic, as most crafts are these days. Let's put that one out of the way. Now my next work in progress, you haven't seen this one before, is this kit. And it's a Margaret Sherry kit, and sadly Margaret passed away in April of this year. And I believe her family are keeping on her business. I mean, very, very sad, but the cross-stitching world lost a brilliant designer there, but her work lives on. And I told you I'm a messy stitcher, didn't I? I don't sort my threads before I start either. And in the kit, this came with the Christmas version of Cross Stitch Crazy, which I believe would have come out around about November time. And that's the finished picture there. You get, as you can see, you get all the threads, you get the hoop and the fabric and the needle. and that's my start there. And I've done the scarf on the centre mouse there, and his mitts, and the bottom of his body, and I've just started on the face. Now, there's quite a few colours in there as well, but I don't mind on the smaller projects. You do get the 14 count white Ada, 29 lengths of thread, the embroidery hoop. The thread includes 3 metallics and a needle. And it was a very lovely kit to get, especially at that time of year as well. So, I mean, us crafters, Christmas, you get Christmas all through the year, don't you? Who cares? So I do like a little Christmas project to work on throughout the year. So that's my next work in progress, which I believe is my second. Yeah. I'll put that back in its bag later, so give your ears a rest from all that crinkling. Now my next work in progress is also another Emma Congdon. Now I've never until recently stitched Emma Congdon designs. I must say I thoroughly like them, but the reason, this is the one I'm stitching of hers, and it is in the August 2018 issue of Cross Stitcher magazine, and it is Oh, I Do Like to Be Beside the Seaside. Well, I call it a sampler. I know it isn't, but hey. And the thing I absolutely love about this particular picture, and yes, you've guessed it, it doesn't use very many colours. In fact, it's only got 3 colours in it, which really does appeal to me. I love colour, always have done, but I'm not a great fan of constantly changing threads. I have to be in the mood to do that. So this really does appeal to me with the only 3 colours, and all that has been created with only 3 colours. I take my hat off to her. I am in awe. And as someone who also lives beside the seaside, I am lucky enough to live in Eastbourne on the south coast of the UK. I look forward to finishing this and getting it out to hang on the wall when the holiday season starts. Now, my progress. I've almost done the K of like. As you can see, I changed the fabric. I wanted something that was sandy-ish in colour. Now, I know sand comes in all sorts of colours, and to me this spoke sand, and I love it because it's only whole cross stitch. I shall have a quick look at the pattern to see if there's any back stitch. Just need to look at it off camera. No, it is only cross stitch, whole cross stitch in 2 strands. So I don't suppose it really needs the back stitch anyway, because you've got this type of lettering. I'm not sure what it's called, but I think it's really lovely, and you can see the 3 colours that are used in this particular pattern, and here they are. It's DMC 598 3810. All tangled up. And can't remember that one. I'll have to look it up. That one sort of fell apart when I started pulling it, so I had to take it all out. So that next one is 3808. DMC, all DMC, and they are the 3 colours that are used throughout this pattern. And I absolutely love it, and I love stitching on it as well, and I can't wait to finish it. And this fabric is, I believe, it is 14 count. Ooh, I can't remember now. I believe it's 14 count. No, my memory fails me, but I know the colour is linen. But I can't remember the brand of the fabric. So, yeah, that's great. So that's another work in progress. Move that over to one side. Now I've kitted up a couple of things. One of them being, remember I said on my finish that I finished my daughter's Alice in Wonderland Tea Cup design, and the next one is the rose design. Well, these are the colours that I'm going to be using, so I've kitted that up ready to start, and lovely vintage colours. That's what I like about these designs on the whole. They are mostly vintagey colours, or I just love her take on Alice in Wonderland and the designing, and can't wait till all the patterns come out. I've had lots of inquiries and I'm stitching as fast as I can, but there you go. And I know you probably wouldn't look at them and think immediately of the scene where they paint the red roses in Alice in Wonderland, but bit of artistic license applied there, and I think it's going to look incredible. So that's kitted. I haven't actually got the fabric out yet, but I will. Another one kitted up in I believe this magazine is bi-monthly. Let's have a look. In Cross Stitch Gold magazine, which is the latest issue that has just recently come out, I believe this is bi-monthly. Issue 156. And I love this entire magazine. I want to stitch every single picture in here. But Doreen Jones, who is a UK designer, is one of my favourites here in the UK as well, and I absolutely love her designs. And I usually love autumn winter designs, but I really fell in love with this summery design, and I thought how glorious that's going to look on the wall during the summer months, during the spring and summer, and loved it, and I kitted that up today. And these are the colours. Now it actually uses 3, 6, 7, 8, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Actually uses 10 colours altogether. You can't see the black and the white because I've always got black and white, so you just see the rest of the colours here. And this is the colour palette for that picture, and really looking forward to doing that. I haven't sorted the fabric out. For my birthday last year, my daughter gave me a batch of fabrics from Sparklies, which is a lovely company in the UK that does hand-dyed fabrics. So I'm thinking of choosing one of those, but I'll update you. And maybe you would like a quick flip through of these other designs. Now Cross Stitch Gold does concentrate a lot on, mostly on the big designs. So this is the Medieval Grace by Leslie Tier. Which I think is a very pretty design. And the next one is the Romantic Getaway, which is a picture of the canals of Venice, designed by Carol Thornton, and I cannot wait to stitch this one. I think she has done a brilliant job on the design of this, to the sort of washed out watery colourness of it all. I really love that. I love that you get the scene of the tables on the side there, and that bridge, and even the reflection in the water there. I really do love that design, and can't wait to start it. And this is one called Beside the Seaside by Jenny Barton. You've got some children frolicking in the sea there, and a couple of ladies in 1920s beachwear keeping a close eye on them. I thought that was a pretty picture as well. I think the one after the Doreen Jones that I'm going to do is going to be the Venice scene though. I love that, and we're back to the one that I kitted up today. There's the cushion. I think that's the only one I wouldn't be inclined to design. Hark at me. To stitch. Again, designed by Jenny Barton, and it's called Fancy Feathers. And the next pattern in here is You Are My Sunshine by Amanda Gregory. The design is by Amanda Gregory. I really like these as well. I love sunflowers. I think they're such happy flowers. And I love the colour yellow. Having been, I am still just hanging on to the colour of my own hair. A redhead, which yellow does seem to favour redheads, but I'm one of those people that can wear yellow. Not everybody can, but I've always loved yellow, and this picture really speaks to me because of all the yellow in it. And let's show that really, but there you go. Another one by Carol Thornton is this lovely Hilltop Hideaway, which with this lovely castle in the clouds and all these beautiful blooms in the lead up to it. It is really stunning. Carol Thornton, I've seen her a handful of times in the magazines, but she is fast becoming one of my favourite designers. Let's see what else. You get to see what's coming in the next one as well. Lovely flower fairy there. Couple of seagulls. Wedding sampler. Mountain retreat. Down by the lake. That one there. It's a lady daydreaming, gazing out at the lake. Beautiful berries. I love strawberry cross stitch pictures. There's been a few of them this year. So that's what's coming next time. Then we're back to, we have Fiona Baker, who designed these for Father's Day cards, which in this country I believe is on June the 9th. Does it actually tell you? Can't see it. No, I believe it's June the 9th. I can't look at that page because of the pattern. And I believe that's all the pictures in here. Yep, I do like that magazine, and I am really looking forward to starting that Doreen Jones one, which I should be able to show you some progress next time. Now that's all my kitting up for my planned new projects. Now I want to talk a little bit about retro cross stitch. I first started cross stitching over 30 years ago, when the first sort of new cross stitch magazine came out, and I was hooked immediately. I remember my first picture was of a black cat staring out of a window, so you could see the back of the black cat, and there was the window frame with the curtains and a little scene outside, and I absolutely adored doing it, and I was hooked from day one. Now I'm also a multi-crafter, so I do get to craft quite a lot, but as I mentioned in my last video, I do suffer from degenerative disc disorder in my neck, and it's become harder and harder for me to continue knitting and crochet, but thankfully I'm okay with stitching, so it means I can indulge in that an awful lot more. And around that time, one of the favourite designers of the time was a lady called Donna Kula, who is a designer in the US, and I believe is still a designer in the US. I can't swear to it though. And I went to my local library in Eastbourne, and they have their own second-hand bookshop where they sell off the discontinued books that they're not going to be letting out anymore. And lo and behold, I actually went in there the other day. I often go into that shop to have a good look round. I've got some little gems, but this was one. I went in last week and this was on the shelf, and I don't know if you can see that says £4.50 there. I actually paid £3 for it, and it's called 555 Country Cross Stitch Patterns. And inside you get the patterns made up. I just have to be a bit careful about flicking through this on camera. You get the patterns made up in the form of a sampler. So this sampler is all about celebrations, and you've got Happy Grandparents' Day there, Happy Anniversary, you've got Halloween, and congratulations, best wishes, bon voyage, happy birthday, surprise, celebrate spring. And you can take each one and just use it separately for a card, but I do like the way they look in this sort of sampler form. So that's the celebrations one, and an absolute bargain. Yeah, I love my bargains, especially in crafts. And then the next few pages are showing you all the various different patterns that there are. Have I skipped one? No. That there are within that sampler. So the next one is called My Favourite Things. And then you've got horse riding, there's a cowboy there, carousel, musical instruments, cars, anchor, lighthouses, animals, teapots, trains, aeroplanes, golfing. Quite a lot for men there actually. Ships, so if you're stuck on stitching some men's cards, there's quite a bit there you could use for a little card. For not just the men, I mean there are plenty of women that enjoy those sort of things as well. And personally I absolutely love lighthouses. Also love my cup of tea as well. So the possibilities of using each section of these samplers for smaller projects, it is huge. So now I believe that's all of that one. Then you've got Home Sweet Home, And here you've got snowman, not quite sure why, but there you go. A spinning wheel, quilts, quilt blocks, teddy bear, teapot, rag doll, baby building blocks, bird cage, bird house, cat, house, a welcome sign, bless this house, a little flowery dog there, a basket of flowers, I believe that is, cooking, anything you can think of for the home almost, and wedding cake down the bottom here. And you've got this home sweet home in the middle, but I think the pictures in this book are also really appealing. And the next one is Kindred Spirits, and you have an alphabet here, and then you've got people in different roles along the bottom. There's a fisherman, a grandma, a perambulator, possibly a horse rider, can't quite make that out, I'm not sure. And down here you've got at the top the world's greatest, and then you've got bowler, cook, teacher, doctor, lawyer, friend, salesman, golfer, boss, nurse, dentist, husband, sister, brother, father, mother. And you've got a married couple there, couple of some bees, it says be my honey, happy birthday, there's a cake there. So there's just so much in this. And the next one is love and friendship. You've got a bear, some sentiments. The gift is small, but the love is all. Because of you, the world is a little sweeter. Again, some alphabet that you can use in little samplers. Mostly wording on that, on the love and friendship one. I think there's one more to show, yep. And this one is called Mother. Mother Nature, rather. Where you get a lot of items linked to Mother Nature. Again, very, very pretty. And the possibilities. So that's a bit about my retro cross stitch, and thoroughly enjoyed looking through this book. Loved the book, loved the designs, and she was one of my favourite designers, Donna Cooler, back in the day when I first started cross stitch, and I'm absolutely delighted to have this book and another bargain. Can't go wrong with a bargain. Now, here's a days gone by, a couple of days gone by, little bits. This is stuff that I've stitched in the past, and did I show this on the last one? No, I don't think I did. What one did I show on the last one? I don't think it was these. Well, a quick show then, just in case I did. But you get this miniature sampler, which was free in a magazine a long time ago. Unfortunately, I can't remember which magazine. But you get the all the kit, including the frame, the fabric and the threads with a needle. And you get the pattern, which has got the alphabet there, the numbers along the bottom. Not sure if I could do this these days. It'd be quite hard on the eyesight. Probably through a magnifying glass I could, but that is a pretty old English type of miniature sampler. Now I stuck a magnet on the back because this lives on the front of the refrigerator, along with this one, which was another free kit in the magazine, along with the frame and fabric and all the threads. Now this was slightly more of a challenge because it is complete fabric coverage from corner to corner, but I did enjoy doing this. It's not my best stitching because my eyes weren't the most brilliant, even back then when I made this, but I was pleased with it. And again, a magnet on the back. It lives on the fridge. These two live on the front of the refrigerator. So that's my days gone by bit. And lastly, I went over to, because I'm new to Flosstube, new to cross stitch, well, new to cross stitch videos, put it that way. I haven't done them, well, I did a pilot episode back in 2016, I think it was, but I'm only just deciding to do them regularly now. Now I went over 200 subscribers, which I know is small fry compared to so many of you out there, and but I was pleased to get over 200, so thank you to all of those subscribers. And to a little celebration, I would like to show a little token of appreciation by offering this chart for somebody to win. Now this was in the World of Cross Stitching magazine, and it was a supplement to the World of Cross Stitching magazine, and it is an exclusive chart plus you can download an illustrated mount. I don't know if that bit is still available, but the chart was much sought after, and I heard, I'm not 100% certain of this, I heard it wasn't going to be on sale after these were sold out, and I heard that they had been sold out quite quickly. It was a chart brought out by Faye Whitaker of All Our Yesterdays, who is a UK cross stitch, well, she's actually a UK artist, but some of her work has been converted to cross stitch. And on the back of this, I can't show it to camera, but is the cross stitch chart of the Queen bending to accept the flowers, the gift of flowers from this little boy and girl, and the little girl getting ready to give a curtsy there, and the Queen has one of her famous corgis with her. So it is a brilliant pattern, and it was brought out to celebrate Her Majesty the Queen's 90th birthday. So this is new, it hasn't been used, I haven't used it myself, and if you would like to win it, then I'm going to pose one question. Can you tell me in what part of the UK does Faye Whitaker hail from? It should be fairly easy to find that out online, and I don't expect an enormous response to this because I know I don't get, because I'm new, I won't have as many views. So you actually have a good chance of winning this if you're interested. So that's all I want to know. What part of the world, of the UK, does Faye Whitaker hail from? And if you leave it in the comment below, and I will put anyone who comments the correct answer will go into a random number generator, and it is open worldwide. Don't mind where you live, I will post it to you. So hopefully, anyway, someone would like to win that. If you're the only one that comments, then hey. Right, well, that is the end of this podcast. Thank you for joining me. I really love cross stitch, love doing showing off my makes, my finishes, etc. And I hope you'll join me again in 2 weeks' time. Bye for now.